came out about him, and it wasn't really snitching, but he left a statement. I don't know if that makes sense. Like he left a statement, but it wasn't really. I don't know. If that makes sense.
The internet will twist and turn it to make
anything.
Yeah.
He does have a statement out, and he did go to jail after he.
Hey man, stay safe world, man. We gotta tap in and talk about this situation that's going on with Spotemgottem, SayCheese, and 1090 Jake, man, with the allegations that Spotemgottem snitched on his homie several years ago that was aired out, and basically the aftermath of that and everything that happened today, man. But before we do, I'm gonna need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, man, and let's run this up. So basically, if you're unfamiliar with the Florida rapper Spotemgottem, he blew up with the beatbox that everyone did a fucking that everybody and their grandma did a dance or did a remix to it or something. This man had 4 remixes to it. It was a very popular song in 2020, I think, or 2021. And basically allegations came out that was aired out by 1090 Jake that basically showed that Spotemgottem snitched on his homie before the fame. And there's different types of views of snitching, right? If you're a civilian, it's not snitching. You could go and do it. But if you're claiming you're in a gang and you're in the street life and shit, even if you're not in a gang, but if you're in the street life or whatever, and you're seen as a snitch, it's hypocritical because it's bad for multiple reasons. And I definitely cannot stress enough that it's probably the worst thing you could do, because it's you're choosing to be in this life, and when you live this life, you live by a code because you're doing illegal shit that when you're snitching on other people, it's you're literally no one forced you to be in this life, you feel me? No one told you to do this, you're choosing to do this, and snitching on other people is just going completely in the opposite direction of what you're trying to do. You're literally snitching is the worst thing you could do because it makes no sense. Because it's you're the one choosing to be in this community. You're the one choosing to do illegal shit, have guns, do drugs and shit. So it's when you tell on other people for it, it's just bruh, you're not real. And I'm not a gang member or anything like that, or any type of person that encourages that shit, but I'm just saying the truth. It makes no sense to be that type of person, because it's why even go out and do that shit if you're afraid of getting the time for doing it? Obviously no one wants to go to jail, but if you're doing that shit, you should stand on what you're doing. So that's a little spiel there. But basically 1090 Jake exposed fucking Spotemgottem for snitching. And basically in the incident, what happened was Spotemgottem was at his homie's crib and the police basically raided it, and then he basically pointed out where everything was and said his homie had the drugs and guns and shit like that, and basically said that the police didn't, I don't even think they really asked him about it. He literally just gave all that information willy-nilly, you feel me, without them even really asking questions as soon as they came in. So there's a couple problems wrong with that. Number one, he's choosing to live this life, which is what I just said, so there's no reason why he should be doing that shit. Number two, they didn't even ask. Number three, he could have just said, you're gonna have to talk to my lawyer, and then they could have figured that whole thing out. But instead of doing that, he puts his friend under the bus. I think his friend ends up beating that case or whatever, so I guess they said that it's not technically snitching or anything like that. 1090 Jake just reported that story, and he actually gave paperwork that showed the incident of this happening, which in the streets is documented proof that this happened, so there's no way you could go against it. So basically in an interview, SayCheese, who's signed Spotemgottem and is his art is Spotemgottem is his artist, he basically said that Spotemgottem gave a statement but he didn't snitch, and that's what he said in his video, which honestly I don't even know how that makes sense. I guess when you look at who's the dude that did the Addy song, that guy, Pop Hunted, I forget what the fuck his name is, but you know what I mean. That guy, he got in trouble for saying a statement that was for snitching when he wasn't even snitching on his homie. He was snitching on he was just giving a statement saying that he's somebody shot somebody, really, and he was a little kid, and they said he was snitching. So by that same logic, how are you gonna say that this whole situation that happened, which wasn't in that situation, it wasn't even a close friend, it was just someone that he knew and he just happened to be there and was a kid and witnessed someone getting shot, This is something that's way less intense. Literally, they just had guns and like Adderall, but I think the dude was prescribed for the drugs or whatever, so that didn't even matter. And it was in Florida regardless, so I don't even think they were dirty because the dude got off. But it's kind of the same thing. He gave a statement and documented where everything was in the statement. He said that the drugs were there, the gun was in the toilet or whatever. So he didn't just say and give a statement. He literally said everything, like pointed it out, like wrote it down and showed these men. So I don't know. Say Cheese though, I guess he's doing the right thing as a manager and trying to protect his artists or whatever, and try to like put doubt in the whole statement of 1090 Jake, which is, if you're a manager or whatever, I guess that makes sense, but realistically it's not very truthful, because it's like, at what is the line of like, you can't blur the lines. I'm guessing, I'm not encouraging this type of shit, but it's like, if you're gonna be living that life or whatever, like how are you gonna say that isn't, like, obviously anyone else would have said talk to my lawyer or anything. Even like these white collar criminals be saying that shit. They don't be saying shit when they commit $1 billion crime or whatever, theft, fraud or whatever. They say talk to my lawyer. They don't say shit. They plead the fifth. But this man said everything. So I really feel like it's an incorrect statement that SayCheese is saying by saying that what he's saying is wrong, and it's setting a bad precedent because it's going to make people start thinking that it's okay to do this shit. And obviously what I said before, if you're a civilian, it doesn't matter or anything, but if you're a street rapper and you're doing this shit and then telling on other people, you're basically an informant. And then like, you're literally helping the police. You're basically a police officer at that point. And that's, I feel like, not fair, because it's like, you should be facing the same time as everyone else because you were doing the same shit. That's like a fucking, like, I don't know, like, you really think you're better than everyone else, that you can snitch on other people. And obviously it's not like he was going to be facing a lot of time for that shit. It's fucking Florida. Everyone has guns. A lot of guns don't even require like I don't know what the laws are now, but when I lived there, when you get a gun at like a gun show or some shit, it's like different. He even went as far to say that he sold bullets to little kids and shit. So like, I don't know, man. It was just like a confusing situation. But let me know if you think that he snitched, or you think it was a misunderstanding or some shit by giving a statement to the police that totally showed where all the items and drugs and guns and everything, and where his homie hid everything and got his homie arrested, if that's considered snitching or not. Because maybe I'm wrong, but hey, real say shit. You already know what's going on. Like, comment, subscribe.